and welcome to the Box Angeles Podcast with me, your host, Mike Elder. Thank you so much for listening. However you found the show, it means the world to me, and I'm not just saying that. I really appreciate it. We've got a great episode this week. After 6 years, George Basil, the great actor and funny man, returns to the podcast. He did the podcast a long time ago. We've remained in touch. We text from time to time. He's a good dude. We've always been on the same wavelength, and this conversation was a lot of fun. George talked candidly about struggling with finding work during the strike and during COVID and all that. He talked about his struggles with self-tapes, how they're not meant for a guy like him. He needs to be in the room in front of people. We talked about, he was in Barbie. For those that didn't realize it, he had a small part in Barbie, and we talked about how he got that role, which was a really interesting story. So stick around for that part. For those that don't know George, I should say he's been on shows like Crashing and Flaked and Wrecked. He's been around the block. He's a really fascinating dude. I think he's such a lovable goofball. And we should hang out more, George. I'm going to just say that right now. I think you know that. But either way, this is a really, really, really fun interview. I think you're going to dig it. And I'm just going to shut up now. Without further ado, I give you...
Oh, this is the fucking audition. God damn it. 6 foot. George Basil, based in Los Angeles. Do I want it? No. Do I need it? Yeah.
George, it's so good to see you, buddy.
Thanks.
First off,
You made me sleep, bastard.
I love
Sure.
George. I love your approach to the industry. You're just so cavalier and casual about it, and I feel like that's probably what you do in a real audition. Is you walk up and you're like,
and it's not.
"Really, George Basil, 6'4"? Okay, great."
Again, you want me to say it? Okay, here it is from the last time. It's the same. I'm not growing anymore.
Can I just say you look great right now?
Thanks, man. You're light.
I have a what?
You're light. You're open window.
Well, no, I was gonna say.
Your natural stuff.
I don't like commenting on people's weight, and I'm not commenting on your weight. I'm commenting more on your hair. Like, I like this look.
What about my weight, though?
Well, no, I just talked about this in therapy yesterday. I think it's weird that society as a whole thinks it's okay to comment on people's weight. Like, we can say, you look good, you've lost weight, but we don't know what they're going through. They could be anorexic, and we're encouraging that bad behavior type of thing, right? So in general, I find it interesting that anyone comments on people's weight. And my mom, every time she sees me, says, you look skinnier, and I'm the exact same weight I've been my entire adult life.
Isn't that kind of frustrating? Because skinnier means like...
Exactly.
You're big.
You're doing good, yeah. Or whatever, yeah.
Hummingbird, dude.
Yeah.
Skinny. Oh, you look so...
But when I was...
Hummingbird.
Oh, it's a cute little hummingbird. But no, your hair right now... And the beard, it looks great. You got a touch of gray. It's clean cut. You look great right now.
Thank you. I look skinnier.
Last time you did the podcast was 2018, and you had, I don't know if you remember, you were in your Jesus phase, and like a bug fell out of your beard while I interviewed
Did
you.
it really?
Oh, yeah.
A bug?
That's what you said.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, I that has happened. That was Big Beard days.
Right. You were in your Jesus era.
Yeah.
And now you're in your...
That was all my Jesus roles. I think I was keeping all that for shit for TV, I think, because it was like, play this hippie, play this hippie, play that hippie. And then I was like, okay. But now no one's asking me to play shit, so I'm like, I'm going to do this guy.
Yeah, tell me about that. Wait, you said nobody's asking you to play shit. Are you in a little bit of drought right now? I assume with...
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we do. Right?
Talk about that.
We drought just like we flood. I feel like everybody is. Everybody that I've been talking to, obviously there's a small margin of people that work forever. The self-generators work. Now there's like what's it called? The social media people work a bunch. Or even just doing social media and having that be your thing. I'm like jealous of it because I'm like, I can't do that. I hate myself too much. Or I don't. You know what I mean? The insecurity is like too delicate.
Yeah. And it just feels like a lot of work.
Yeah.
We didn't get into this to edit 60-second clips and post them to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
I'm a bad editor.
Yeah.
I edit it literally by erasing it.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I'll do a take of something. I've tried it a few times on my phone where I'm like, okay, yeah, I could do that. I could make a funny person. Oh, here's me. I'm a funny person. And then I stop it and I'm just like, you fucking disgusting bastard. Look at you. You got a touch of gray. You look skinnier.
That's the hardest thing about this podcast is like I love talking to you, but then I have to edit this and post it and repost it and cut it and slice it.
You problem.
It's
buddy.
a nightmare. Yeah.
Oh man.
But like that's unfortunately where we're at now, and is the business. We have to be with self tapes and all that. But back to the drought and talk about that. Like, how are you navigating that? Like, obviously we had COVID hit. That was a momentum stopper. Then I felt like I was doing a lot of good stuff right before the strike, and then the strike hit, and then that was a momentum stopper. Totally. How do you as a person deal with that?
You can let it, I mean, they stop momentum like you're saying, for sure, but they can't stop creativity. I fucking build stuff on my hill. I go out and I'll like weld something and fuck it up and fix it. Or I'll go try to fix something on a truck or my car or something and fuck it up and fix it. So it's like you're constantly, or at least I'm trying to constantly stay active and creating. I would love to be on stage more. I miss that a lot. I miss being like live. I did a show in Richmond over the holidays, and I was like,
the holidays? It's March right now.
Is it? Which holidays, though? Could I mean President's Day? Yes, sir, I could. Yeah. Over all the holidays, dude. So that starts in November and it ends after March in April, May, June. And then the summer holidays are here.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Happy New Year.
Happy summer. Thank you. Oh, yeah, and Happy New Year to you. And happy upcoming summer to you, Mike. It was
sidebar. I love that you're saying, like, I go out in my yard and I garden and I build a shed or whatever, because I don't know if you saw it. I just started reading the Rick Rubin book. It's on my coffee table. I don't know if you've read it. Rick Rubin wrote a book about creativity, and the first chapter is like, we're all creative. You don't have to be an actor, writer to be creative.
Or musician.
Anything you're building or editing or like mechanicking is creativity, and that's like all part of the ether of creativity that flows around and moves between us all. So I like that you just tied it to that.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It is still frustrating because obviously I want to be making money acting on film and TV. That's what I like. Because it satisfies a bunch of shit in my life and it helps me raise my daughter and all that. But most definitely, Rick Rubin has never been more right. Even the old Beastie Boys days. He's right. It's like troubleshooting shit, triaging shit, failing. Like that's why I think I probably bring that up when I talk about building stuff. I fail constantly, but because it's like just me, because it's not public, because it's not performed in front of people and an audience is watching, it's like I'm learning that you can mess something up and then you can correct it. And in doing that, that is creating. It is creative. It's not the way that I like to, kind of get on stage and be crazy or get on screen and be crazy. But I think it's a part of me that it surely needs to be satisfied. And so to answer your question, when this business stops, just this business stops. And I don't love this business. I love making people laugh. I love fucking performing. But I also, I love, building some weird like tiny house on my property and being like, this is where my dogs live. And the dogs are like, we're never coming in this hole, dude. And I'm like, no, this is your hole. This is your cave and your hole. You will eat here. Do you kiss each other when I'm not home? What do you do when Dad's not home?
You built your dogs a tiny house ADU?
Yeah, basically. It's like a cave. It's got all the amenities. I saw one, I think, on Reddit, and it was like this beautiful underground lair. And the dog like had a fireplace. I was like, but I haven't done that yet. Mine's just like, it's just like a hole. And I put my dogs in it. I think I buried my dogs, dude.
Yeah, I love that idea of like recognizing like it's almost like an inward creativity, like a meditative creativity where we're not doing it for other people. One of my favorite things, I have a lot of plants, and one of my favorite things is like repotting plants. I find that so meditative and also creative because I'm like perfectly tamping it down and then adding some mulch on top type of thing, and it just is like calming for me creativity.
Fuck, dude, you're also
where I'm not trying to get likes for it.
Yeah, but you do get likes, but it's from the plant.
It's from
and
my
they're
heart.
Doing it. Yeah,
and the plant.
But you're expanding its like root system. You're giving it more space. Like you are doing something that is extremely important to the life of this other thing, even if it doesn't have consciousness the way we know it. That's huge. And like, I don't know, diversifying things like that in our lives, I think, help us kind of, or at least helps me be a little bit happier or maintain happiness when things do feel or can feel kind of bleak. Like I've talked to a lot of people all in different phases of their career and different developmental spots. And yeah, it's like, everyone's like, what you were saying. It's like the pandemic killed shit, then the strike killed shit again, and now it's like there's another strike looming down the road, and that's gonna kill shit before shit's even alive. And you're talking about a lot of dead stuff, and I get it. It's like that, and it sucks because it's really gonna limit earnings, and it's gonna limit opportunities and stuff
and access.
Yeah, and dude,
letting people like me in finally.
Letting anybody in and kicking people out, dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We're sliding now. It's like you were on 3 TV shows. Congratulations, you're on 0, and you've been on 0 for a while. So now you gotta get back over there and start hustling this way or that. And so yeah, it's definitely an interesting time, but I don't think Rick Rubin's right.
I like the idea though that you didn't approach it as a drought. You're like, sure, it's a work drought where I can make money from this, but I'm still using my everyday life to be creative. So I like that sort of mindset about it for sure.
Yeah, I'm lucky because I fucking had some good years. Okay, I can say fuck a bunch, right?
Yeah, of course.
Great. You edit every single one out and it says fluff. I can fluff and fluff off, right? You like when I fluff? Fluff
So funny about that. I just showed you I'm getting a laundry machine, and I'm so excited to have an in-unit washer and dryer. I feel like you have made it when you have that.
Yes.
And I've been joking all week. I'm going to start a fluff and fold business just because I want to do everybody's laundry.
Yeah. Every podcast guest that comes over gets to drop one sack of their shit, and then you can be like, cool. Fluffed and folded.
That's so funny.
New podcast idea. That's the other thing I was going to say is I'm also like your setup's so beautiful and you've been doing this so consistently. Those are things that I'm jealous of because it's like, fuck, that is one of the things that I have not done that I'm like, wouldn't that be fun?
But it comes back to what we were talking about with social media, right? Like,
yeah.
it could be fun, but it's also a grind, dude. And I have not been that consistent. During COVID, I stopped. Mm-hmm. I refused to do Zoom interviews because everybody was doing it and every celebrity had it. And I was like, I can't compete with this. And it's not the same as being in person and like connecting with the person. So I stopped for like 2 years and it hasn't been as consistent since I started back up. But
oh, shit.
It is a discipline that like is good, but also it's a lot of work.
It's hard, yeah. And to stay on top of it.
Scheduling is a lot of work. Producing is a lot of work. If HeadGum or somebody would just pick me up so I didn't have to do all the...
Yeah. Just HeadGum, please. HeadGum. All we need is HeadGum.
You mentioned though you miss doing live stuff. What's preventing you from like? How do you not have like a monthly show at Dynasty Typewriter, George Basil and Friends or whatever?
Oh yeah, I don't have any friends. They know that.
That's not true.
Yeah, no, it'd be like George Basil and Enemies. Maybe I'll pitch that.
I think somebody has that at Largo. I think Anthony Jeselnik does that.
Great, another HeadGum guy, Anthony Jeselnik.
You could get a good lineup. Like, what's stopping you from doing live stuff?
I don't want anybody
not to challenge you, but like...
It's about me. It's not about them. Friends, foes. I don't fucking care. Get off my fluffing stage. It's mine, and I'll do whatever I want. I should. Again, it's like, where do you put it? Where's your energy going? Is it to that kind of self-promoted, self-generated stuff? I miss the consistency of knowing my show's on Saturday night at 9:00 at such and such a theater, because on Monday or Tuesday of that week, when I'm like, fuck, I'm having a tough time and I'm struggling with this or I'm struggling with that, I can definitely put it aside easier and be like, yeah, but it's Saturday at 9 p.m. I'm going to bleed everywhere and people are going to eat it.
Yeah.
That's my blood.
But you could do that.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but even if you're doing a show at the clubhouse,
I didn't come on
you
this
could
podcast
do that.
to be fucking destroyed. Yeah.
Do you know Will Hines?
Uh-huh.
I had Will Hines on like 6 months ago, and I felt like he left very like, because I was like,
thanks a lot, man. I guess I should write that other book.
I'm not as happy as I was in the first iteration of the podcast. Now I'm just like piercing, and I get down to the root of the issue.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, if you need a producer
audition from here, so wherever you lay me down, I will fucking go down further.
If you need a producer for a show, let me know. I will do the legwork, and we'll get you a monthly show at Dynasty Typewriter. Because they pay, Dynasty Typewriter pays pretty good their performers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Keep that in mind. You're paying like $25 a ticket, and I think they give like half or something to performers.
What if it's like George Basil's HeadGum show, and then I can charge 50 or 60?
Do whatever you want, man.
and just use whatever brands I want.
Do whatever. You could do a one-man show, I think, probably, honestly.
I got to find a guy to do my one-man show for me.
You mentioned you have a commercial audition from here at 200 South.
Yeah. I have not said 200 South specifically like that because those are words in L.A. What do they mean? They mean a lot. It's a big room. It's a big room with those weird little dogs. For people that haven't been to a commercial audition at 200 South, because I've been to over 1,000 maybe.
Wow. That's a nice humble brag right there.
Thank you. That's 1,000. 1000.
That's so many.
Because I first got to town and it was just like they were crunching them out. Like it's so many offices that run out of that.
Especially
place.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was there last Friday and it was popping. Like every room had something going on. I get energy from that, but you used to strike me as a guy that would hate that.
Because you're gonna see friends and you're not gonna read because fucking friends are everywhere. God damn it, another friend. Hello, friend. No, I love that part. But then it's like, that's my performance.
Meeting your friends?
Yeah, my performance is now like, oh, we are here to fuck. I haven't seen you in 3 years, and we're going to sit here and we're going to talk, and I'm not looking at this thing that has all the lines on it. And so then I go in, and, I'm looking at the board and shit and reading it, and my eyes are getting worse. So I'm just, dude... I'm not good at it.
I have so many comments. Do you consider yourself an introvert?
Yeah.
Like, does that take energy out of you to meet with friends at 200 South? Is that what you're saying? Like, all your energy goes to that, and then you're not
burden. I fucking love it.
Okay,
it's great.
So you're an extrovert.
Yeah, I'd say I'm an extrovert. People would say I'm an extrovert. Who knows?
I would think so.
I really am.
All we want to know is the real George.
That's what we all want to know, man.
But second, last time I talked to you, I feel like you approach auditions very rogue. You kind of do your own thing. So the idea of you reading a board to me doesn't compute. Like I picture you just going in there and just improvising and crushing it.
Okay. It's happened, but I don't know. Maybe I'm tired.
Or maybe you're in a drought and you're just trying to be a good boy and follow all the
like, yes, sir. Look at the board and I'm like, I say it real clear. I like pronunciate. Enunciate. I'm a board guy now. I read that shit verbatim.
You know what's so funny is like this might be a me thing, but like I hate reading the board because then I'm like
out of it.
I'm just reading and it's like.
But when you go up and you're like, hey, I'm Marco Polo and this is the time. Did you read that for that one? It's like a Marco Polo ad that's going to be coming out. Shove it up my ass. It's like all the straight to camera spokesman-y stuff.
Yeah.
And they want you with bravado. They want you that like, I know this product. And it's like, I don't know this product.
I don't even know what it is.
I don't know what
Isn't it a cologne?
Marco Polo, I thought was an app. Today is fast food. And I don't do fast food.
Really?
I don't eat it.
I could picture you crushing it like a junior bacon cheeseburger from Wendy's at midnight.
Ooh, now you're talking. Shit, depends on which midnight.
But what I was gonna say about the board is I hate when they're like play it to the board because then I find myself I make it my point to get off book before I go to these things, right? Because I'm much more freer if I don't have to read.
God damn! Did you say off book?
Well, commercials, it's like 2 lines. Come on, that's not hard.
That's still a book. You gotta get off it.
But if I'm looking at the board,
yeah,
I can't help but read the fucking board, and then I'm reading the board, and I'm like,
You're like, I know this.
And then I'm like, I can't perform because I'm reading the board because I'm looking at the board. And I'm like, that makes no sense to look at the board.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. They've got you, dude. And you don't know which way to turn.
It's patting your belly and rubbing your head or whatever.
Yep. Then you forget your head. Yeah.
I hate that.
I know. You're in trouble.
So wait, I was going to ask you about self-tapes because we're in a world of self-tapes now, especially TV-wise, which I just had my first post-strike TV audition last week.
Congratulations. That's great.
I was very excited about it.
Did you feel good about it?
It's a long story. I'll tell you after.
Okay. Yeah.
But I have embraced self-tapes. You do not seem like the person that would embrace self-tapes. It seems like we talked about this on the last podcast. It seems like you would just have a vibe about you that a casting director would really like to work with and vibe with. So it's interesting that you kind of are worried about 200, not worried, whatever. You're hesitant or reluctant about going to 200 South. But to me, that's preferable to you than a self-tape. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it is preferable. No, you're not wrong. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. No, Rick Rubin's wrong. Paul Rubin's not here. Rick Rubin's here. Wrong. And you're right.
Yeah.
I like rooms because it's a show
Right.
on stage, and I like stage. So I'll feed off a little bit of their stuff. If anybody's like, that's all it takes, and I'm like, okay, great, that's food, and I'm fucking eating.
Yeah.
And so that's what I follow. That's like what I've.
Jesus
I'll get
Christ.
it. I'll get it.
Sorry
That's my
about that.
dad. Holy shit! You wrote an email to me on your computer. Weird. And it's all about Barbie. That's strange.
Continue.
Yeah, I do prefer it. The only reason I'm talking shit about the audition today is like,
It's commercial.
yeah, and I hate to do that because there's no real like hierarchy. We all want to be in a movie. We all want to be on TV. We all sometimes have to do commercials.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're all serving the overlords. It don't fucking matter whether you're eating their cheeseburger or you're like crying and you have your dead wife and it's like the end of a movie. Well, it's not my dead wife. It's
Spoiler
your
alert.
dead- Yeah, I hope you didn't watch Barbie, dude. All the wives dies. So yeah, it's like I perform I prefer the live performance. Then self-tapes are tough. It's like,
I don't mean to keep piercing you, sorry.
yeah,
But
I do look good. I know. Stop, Mike.
do you think that having that attitude, you recognize that attitude, but I'm sorry, I point. I got to stop pointing.
You're
at this,
like-
'cause I'm very,
like-
not only am I piercing, I'm
Yeah.
pointing at you.
It's tough to be here right now.
No, but like, do you think that having that negative attitude as you walk into Tours out the Brea is not serving you?
Fuck yes. Of course not. It's never fucking serving you, period, dude. Ever in your life. And I talk about it in therapy, and he's like, well, don't you think that George Clooney, when he's in a commercial, and I'm like, yeah, doc. Yeah.
You go to your dick doctor for therapy?
And he gets me hard and in charge, dude. You make sure I am thinking right and working. He cleans the plumbings.
Okay, but I mean, I like the idea when people are self-aware to realize, like, you realize that like I asked you about that, and you're like, yeah, it's because it is commercial, it feels lesser than, and I know it's not. I know we're all trying to do the same thing. So at least you recognize that, I think, is the
Definitely.
important part.
Of course,
Self-awareness
we're
is-
working actors, and that's part of the working actor thing. It's like, it's hard. You're always like stacking yourself up, man. You're putting yourself up again. It's the comparison game. And like, I got off of, I have Instagram as the only social media, and I got off of it for maybe 7 months, 6 months, 7 months or something. And it was awesome. It just felt great. It's not like I wasted I probably did waste a lot less time on my phone, but it's like, you look at Reddit, which is what I substituted for that. I was like, okay, I won't look at these people I know or love or hate. I'll look at these things that like interest me, that I'll learn from or something. Like all the DIY and, weird shit. And
tiny houses for dogs.
yeah, it's all tiny house, dog house fucking subreddits. But it helped in that sense, where it's not like, because obviously, you're going to scroll, you're going to see someone working and remember it for yourself.
Yeah.
Is what happens. I'm like, oh yeah, that was fucking cool. And they get it. Okay, good. They'll get it. They'll get it. It'll end for them too. Start, work, finish. Hello, bastards. What's the show called? It's canceled already? Great.
Well, can I make you feel a little better about yourself?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, you probably don't, but you were in a little movie called Barbie last year.
No, I don't know that.
Your boy right here auditioned for Barbie.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh.
That's awesome.
See, that's what you say, and it is great, but I have had FOMO for the last year about not being in a $1 billion movie, not being seen by every girl in the world. Whereas you are running down Venice chasing Ken and Barbie, I think, right?
Definitely. Let's talk about it.
How was that experience for you? Yeah.
It was awesome. It was fun as shit. It was an afternoon of just like fun, hanging out with two super megas and super magas. I'm just telling you right now. I'm breaking news.
I didn't know that.
Breaking news. Both Robbie and Gosley are Trumpers. Just kidding. I don't know if they are. We didn't get that deep. It was a lot of fun. But here is to your point, the fear of missing out shit. It's like, you know what I got for it, and I don't want to. It was obviously great to work, period, and it was great because it was an easy job and it was fucking sweet. Everybody was really nice. Seen by every girl in the world, nobody's come up. Here's what happens now. People are just like, they see me and they're like, "Hey, I saw you in something. Who was that? What was that? Commercial or joke or something?" And I'm like, "Barbie." And they're like, yeah, it was Barbie. Because I run out.
You're in like 30 seconds.
I go less than 30 seconds, Mike. Appreciate that. I run out and I'm like, and then they run away. And that's my Barbie moment, which I'll take it. But
yeah, I was just gonna say, you're saying people come up to you like that. I have FOMO of people coming up to me like that and doing that I was auditioning for the construction workers at Cat Caller like right before your scene.
Oh man!
And there's like 5 of them, and I wasn't worthy of any 5.
Right, but they weren't worthy of you. How about that? It was really fun, and yeah, I'm glad I got to do it.
It's awesome to be. I mean, that's when you hit $1 billion, that's got to just feel cool.
I'm glad I hit $1 billion on it.
Well, you know what I mean. Like to have a small part of it.
$500.
I was just going to ask you what you got paid for it, honestly.
$1,500.
So you got a SAG minimum 1-day rate?
Yeah. And
I was going to ask, because wait, hold on.
Not a fucking cent of resids.
Really?
And I don't know if I do. I don't know. I haven't called SAG. I mean, it's like if it happens, then I'm like, great. I'm in my backyard, and I'm like, huh? What happened? Oh, great.
I'm really glad you brought this up because I was going to ask. Wait, at what point you've been in a lot of things? Why wouldn't your agent negotiate that at all up?
Probably the circumstances, which were this is the best part for me. Allison Jones is someone that I greatly admire, and she's also just what a fucking sweet ass lady. She's always been like that since I arrived here. Mm-hmm. She's always made me feel comfortable in that room and played playfully like with me. It was like she's just a rad lady, and so you just want to be around her for that reason, aside from the whole like opportunity to change your life shit. And so always have respected her and liked being around her. And she called and said there's a small part in Barbie, and if George wants it, it's his.
Wow.
So I didn't audition.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, holy shit. There's more to the story. And I won't tell it on today's podcast, but I'll tell it on the next episode when I get paid for this podcast, okay? $1,500 I want.
Shit.
1,000.
That's more than this podcast has ever made in 10 years.
Not now. Headgum just fucking bought you. No, she offered it, and she was like, Greta likes improv, and she wrote me this fucking awesome sweet note of like, she likes improv, so maybe you guys can play a little bit and stuff. And I was like, man, what a dream, like what a cool ass thing. And of course that's not how it went, but it was just nice that that was even in her mind or considered that go, here's your job, go do it. Have fun, and know that these people, share some of the same sensibilities. So, yeah, it was great. That's how I got the job.
That's so cool.
Right.
When was the last time you had worked with Allison, or she had cast you in something?
The last time was Curb Your Enthusiasm for season 9.
Okay, so a while ago.
Yeah, man. And
so
that got cut out. So I'm like not.
So
let's talk about that.
Wait, hold
on, Mike.
Hold on.
You're gonna cut me out of your shit, sir, Larry's, to both you Larrys, to both you Larrys. You're gonna cut me out of your shit. What about I cut you out of your shit, sirs?
But how cool is that when you think about like what we talked about earlier with the droughts and stuff, that you can go 10 years without working with Allison and she calls you up and offers you a role. Like, how cool is that?
Definitely. I mean,
that's so cool.
But I think it comes back to like, she has always seen that I come in to her office since the first time, and like to what we were talking about before, where it's like, come in, and if you want to be pro, know your shit. Be off book. Know the lines. Deliver. Do those things. Or come in, be nice, be prepared, but also scared enough to have a little, of that unpredictable sort of spontaneity that's gonna come
Riz.
out.
Riz,
That riz,
as the kids call it.
Yeah. And my riz is jizz. So I always take a cup of my jizz into every audition. Whoa. No, don't.
I love when you're really heartfelt and then you get on a little tangent about alliteration.
I just insulted the Larrys of the Curb Your Enthusiasm realm, which it's is this their last season too?
Yeah, apparently.
No,
well,
wait
they've said that before. But that's so, I find that so cool from where I'm sitting. And I feel like in our circle, obviously, Allison Jones is sort of really up there as I'm not supposed to put casting directors on pedestals, but she's on a pedestal in our circle as discovering comedic talent. And to think of you and then offer you this after 10 years, I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And for me, that's been my saving grace. I have yet to book a TV gig.
Yeah.
I'm getting there, but since COVID, Allison has brought me in twice. Once for Curb.
Yeah.
Brought me in self-tape, unfortunately, but so I haven't had the FaceTime. But Curb and then Barbie, and to me, if I can't book work, a win is when a casting director brings me back, and to have her bring me back for that, I thought was a huge win.
Yeah.
Because we have mutual friends that have never read for Allison Jones.
Right, exactly.
The funniest people alive.
Totally. It's their talent level is not. It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's just how the shit works out, and then I'm sure people that have read for Allison and then things just don't come up again that has her bring them in. Who fucking knows? The Curb audition for me was, I walked in and Larry David was sitting in a chair in the room.
Oh, wow.
Over in Santa Monica, and everybody was there. I guess that's a producer session. I guess that is a producer session, but I didn't know I was going into that or something.
I think he's in a lot of their auditions,
Okay.
from what I've heard.
The rest of the fuckers, though, that were back there were, uninvited. They just found their way in, and they were yes, we'll decide. But it was fun, and it was ha ha ha, and we were all improvising every line of it, and it was just fun as shit. And then when we did it, it was a scene in a plane, and when we shot that, it was not fun. It was adversarial in a way where I was
oh,
what the fuck are you talking about? Why is this? And it did not work, and that's why that shit got cut out.
That makes
it's
sense.
well, it's your fault, Larry David.
You know what?
Get on it, dude. Learn how to do this.
Yeah. You know what's so funny about that is that's why in person I think is important, because you probably went back and forth with Larry in the audition.
Yeah.
My audition for Curb was me. It was you're a plumber showing up and you're confident, but Larry's not confident in you or something. Go.
Yeah.
And I had to do that I think I did with our friend Sornberger, and I just on a self-tape. It just didn't have the same.
And Brandon's ridiculously talented.
For sure.
He could do anything, and you could react to anything, but it's just
it's the improv of it, you're not going to get if you're not in the room.
Yeah. There's
never been improv on TV that works for that reason, right?
Yeah.
There's a magic to it. So doing it with Larry is obviously so much.
The magic that you're talking about is the thing that I am constantly, I'm teetering that line of harnessing it and using it in an audition room, which I don't know if that's the time to do it or not. Maybe save it until you get the job, but it's that, or it's completely being this untethered shit show, and that happens a lot still too.
Yeah.
And that's life. And so even that, the fact that Allison has seen me sort of unravel or whatever and go too crazy or whatever, and it's just that's okay. Sometimes that's a creative direction in it, and it happens, and it's not going to work this time, but it's not a judgment on the person's abilities or whatever else, but good luck doing any of that on a self-tape. Every self-tape I've ever made, it's just 6 foot, facing Los Angeles, figure it out. Okay. Mm. Okay. Mm. Okay. There's no life. The life it's a one-dimensional thing. And I'm not saying that it's a bad system. I'm just saying for me,
I think that's a lot of people though.
I'm still trying to find the way to make it work.
How many have you done in the last couple of years, self-tapes?
It
Got to be a lot, right?
Yeah.
Do you coach on? Do you have a coach run with you? Do you have a friend do it with you? How do you approach them?
I've never coached. Nope. I don't coach. I haven't coached. No one has coached. There's no coach. This team runs wild through the field. There's no ball.
Like a stallion.
Yeah. There's a short-haired stallion. And no, I've never had any help aside from my good friend Dan Fowl was helping me for a while because he had a little beautiful home studio much like yours. A lot different, actually.
This is my self-tape wall.
Yeah, that wall. It's like his wall. Yeah, you guys have a similar wall. Lights and stuff. Good audio. Otherwise, I'm doing it in my house, which is very small and rugged. There's like holes and shit in places where you're like, why is there a hole in the door? Huh? Of a bathroom? I can see the shower. And I'm like on a ring light with like fucked up stuff. It's just all bad.
Yeah.
And it probably looks like I don't put much effort into it, and I don't. But the only real help would be like when Dan or whoever's helping me read has like kind of an interesting take, because I mean that's so fun.
That's what I find helpful is
Definitely.
like if a friend that knows my comedic timing and sensibility can direct me and like be like, wait, do this. I need direction.
Even like even perpendicular to your abilities.
Yeah.
Even if they're just like, go 90 degrees this way, and you're like, but that makes me uncomfortable, and I have to do this self-tape because I want this job. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it, because you're shedding some of the nerves. You're shedding some of the like anticipation and the weird things, and like you may be going to get out of your fucking head for a second, I guess. I don't know. That's one approach. But again, dude, I am fully unprepared for a lot of stuff, and that is for jobs too.
Is it fair to assume you've never booked a self-tape then?
No.
Never.
That's not fair to assume.
Well,
It's unfair. Unfair to say it to me. So I guess this interview is
Finn.
Oh,
Have you booked a self-tape?
Yeah. I have booked a self-tape. Oh, you know how I booked Wrecked? Was on a self-tape. I was
Wrecked?
Yeah.
Back in like 2012 or whatever that was?
Because I wasn't in town. So I went in.
Oh.
It was like a self-tape callback. I don't remember what it was. I think I had auditioned for those cats before, and so this was maybe a callback. But I was in Nicaragua, and I did fun shit, which I've realized I've stopped doing. Like I was like, I want this job, and I'm a creative kid, and I'm like fun, and this is gonna be funny. So that was the horsey days, right? Mm-hmm. And my slate was me coming out of the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, that's funny.
And just being like, and it was an island show, so it kind of fit the bill.
Yeah.
Like I come out and I slow-mo'd it. I don't know how to do this shit. So I was in Nicaragua traveling alone, and I was staying at a hostel, like an eco hostel.
Oh, this is before that crashing money came in, it sounds like.
Yeah. Nah, he had nothing. No, I was a drug mule, dude. I had so much weird shit in my butt, and I think it's all
Still
out.
do. Oh.
Yeah, or it's polyps now. I don't know what it is. I'll have my therapist take a look at it. No, it was like I was there, and I was like feeling eager. That's my first TV job, is Wrecked. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I put forth an effort. And
A fun, playful, different effort.
Totally.
People have told me that doing this slate in character has helped, and you did that, it sounds like, and I kind of wish I'd do that more. I got to remember to do that more.
Yeah, I guess it does. It is kind of like I did. And it's a popper, right? It goes like, people are like, oh, look, he doesn't have a shirt on. He's getting out of the ocean. And that's like, yeah, good. That's going to make you watch this fucking tape. Like, why don't you watch all of them? Or I don't know.
I'll defend casting directors. I've interviewed a lot recently. They claim to watch every single audition. So
do they?
I have to take them at their word.
Come on in. I got some questions. Slap your balls.
Do your reps give you notes at all on self-tapes?
No. They're just like, great job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I don't know. Great job. What? My slate? It's not a performance. It's fucked up because it doesn't feel, even good ones, even ones that like, you know, like you watch it and you're like, yeah, I did it. And that's, I think, what I had set out to do. It's not. It's like, I know that I would have done something completely different if I was driving over to Wilshire or going to God knows where and walking in. Because it's not just the like, it's not just being in the room. It's the drive to that fucking
The
office.
anticipation.
It's all of
the
it.
nerves.
It's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and go over the lines in your head a million times? Okay. Are you going to sit there and listen to fucking hardcore music on the drive to not do that? Okay. And then you're going to sit in that waiting room. What are you going to do then? Are you going to say hi to this person? Okay. Are you not? Okay. It's like every choice you make leading into that creative moment of the performance is real and important. And so I don't cultivate it. I don't necessarily even do the same thing every time. I'm just like kind of flopping around until I'm in there. But that's part of it, I guess. I don't know.
It's very ritualistic, and it's like any pregame. We're both sports fans. It's like any pregame thing. Like you go through the motions.
I'm not a sports fan. I like gambling. I hate sports. It's true. I love betting on sports. That's when I love sports. I hate sports. It's the dumbest shit in the world.
That's for a different podcast.
Yeah. That's on Headgum. That's called bet you lose. And boy, does he lose. Oh, boy, does he lose. What a bad year.
It's tough out there.
Tough. And
but you're right. Like it is. There's like it's almost. We sort of talked about like the meditative inward aspects. Like the drive over is very like, let me get in my headspace type. Some people listen to music. Some people run lines. It is really interesting.
Do you want to get into your headspace or do you want to get out of your headspace?
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
I don't know anymore. I'm like, I know what it's like to work. I know what it's like to be invited onto a set and asked to do something. Sometimes that works. I did an episode of Santa Clarita Diet and it was the worst nightmare situation where I showed up, like I'm saying, like half piss prepared. So I got half of what you want, and then I apply what I want because you're going to like it. You want me here. This is an offer for me to come in and do it. So that's like, I'd imagine you want me to bring my sack of shit and spread it around on your family, on your set. Okay, how much of this can you edit? I don't want people scared for their families. But that's my approach and understanding thus far. I show up. They're the sweetest people. Everybody was really nice. But from the first rehearsal of it, the scene that I did, they stop it. And they're just like, well, you need to just say all the words that we have written on this script. And you got to say them the way that the script is written. And that's every single word. Okay? And I was like, well, okay, I don't know that. Or I don't know how to do it. Can I go learn it? I don't know these lines. And they were like, yeah, we'll give you a couple hours. We'll shoot some other shit. And thank God they were so sweet about it. But I did. The reason I say nightmare is because it's like, oh shit, it like brings up all of the insecurities of like everything. Where you're like, oh no, it's finally happened. They've, revealed who I actually am, this talentless dick, and this guy that's like, I get away with making jokes about whatever I want.
Well, it is interesting because you're in the world, for me, like a Manzukis. Like you come in, you do your thing, chop it up for a day or two, and then you're out.
Yeah.
And so to get it, you was offered, you did an audition, you said? To me, that's what I would expect. So where do you think the disconnect was there then? Did your agents not tell you that they need you off book?
I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew. I think that my agents probably assumed that I go in prepared like a fucking professional, and they're wrong. They've never been more wrong. So there isn't a disconnect. I think it's like the standards of a different set and a different situation.
So that was a learning moment for you.
Yeah, but I forgot it since. I still do that. I showed up at Barbie and I was like saying weird lines. I'm running out. I have one and I'm saying it wrong and weird and not right until I found what I wanted. And then fucking poor Greta Gerwig comes up and she's just like, can we say, what's the line? Okay, great. Can you just say that? And maybe say like guys in there somewhere. And I was like, all right. I don't know if it was because Allison was like, they want you to improvise.
Yeah.
So I'm like running out and I'm just like, hey guys, excuse me. It's me, boutique owner, George Basil. Hey, you can't pay for that. I mean, you can't pay for that. Why didn't you pay? Like, just like chewing on a big fat, like movie sandwich.
What's really, this just made me think about is like, and don't take this personally, but I just saw like Andrew Santino talk about his first acting gig on The Office and he had to move his hand and he kept moving the wrong hand. And John Krasinski was directing it.
Yeah.
And they gave him like 4 takes and he used the wrong hand every time.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that we're so particular about the auditions, but once you're on set, sure, some people get fired, but overall you're
kind of good.
You kind of go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, definitely, dude. That's why I guess I've made it this far is it's like, well, I'm here. You're going to pay me. So you might as well use it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But that's what's also so frustrating about auditions, right? It's like, I mostly audition for co-stars. The one last week was 3 lines. Mm-hmm. There's literally 1,000 different ways I have 1 page of the script. I don't know anything more. I know the show. It's 2nd season.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many different ways I could approach these 3 lines. And it's like, what?
Infinite.
Yeah. And that's the same with your 1 line. Like, you could do it angry. You could do it happy. You could do it sad. You could do it frustrated. You could do, and there's just like no.
The only way that feels interesting to me is spontaneously to do it. That's the only thing that really like invigorates me and makes me want to do it. Like I don't get much out of like the preconceived shit. Like I was in New York and I watched they screened the Werewolves Within movie that I did because Shudder's about to launch it, which is cool. But
okay,
I've watched it now 2 times. Once at Vidiot's here in LA, and then once at the IFC Center. And like watching it in front of an audience because it came out during the pandemic, so the shit was you could stream it. Or I saw it at the Alamo downtown, but it was like 8 people and shit.
Yeah,
and they were masked, so you just don't get an audience's fervor and like. It was such a different movie and it was so raucous and people were laughing their asses off and I was so proud of it and loved it. And then I remember like the character, like I play this, Marcus is the name of the character, and he's like a meth head and like a real squirrely back country fuck. And like, I was like, oh yeah, I did that voice, or like I did that, that sort of like skanky. I grew up with kids in Elkridge, Maryland that were like this. They were just like country ass fucking, suburbanite weird fighters.
Yeah.
That just punched each other. They were like knuckle butters and shit. And so I just pull them up in my head, but I'm sitting there watching it and I was just like, oh yeah, that's right. I did that. And that was like a lot of fun. And I was like, how did I think of that? I was like, when the fuck did I consider those things? And what was my process and all that shit? And it really was when we got there and we started shooting it. And I can even tell early scenes that we start because Sarah Burns plays my wife. And there's early scenes where like we meet the 2 stars, Milana and Sam Richardson, and we're like, hey, what's up, motherfuckers? And I could hear the difference in what I was doing in that and then later scenes of the movie because like it was a feeling process throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes.
It comes back to listen and react, right?
Yeah.
Like we have to play off who we're playing, and that's what's so tricky about self-tapes and especially co-stars is like,
what are you playing off of?
What are you playing off of? You're playing off whoever's coaching you, you're a friend, but then there's
this
like...
is behind you.
Yeah, there's like... No, it's an impossible task.
It's kind of hard, yeah. It's very it's sterile in a way that it's hard for any sort of like the good, because so much of comedy is like mistakes to me. Like so much of it is like whoops, dropping shit, or a pratfall only gets a laugh if it feels real,
right,
or feels severe. And like, good luck. you're doing it in a sterile environment, and it's what they got to do, or it's what they prefer to do now. I'm not sure how long it'll be around. Maybe it's like this forever. Maybe it gives more people an opportunity. Like if I'm a TikToker in Oklahoma and, they're like, we need a dickhead. Well, I'm your guy, and I can submit a self-tape all the way from, you can get hired in the middle of nowhere now.
Yeah, that is helpful.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
do you audition for co-stars?
What is that?
Like a 2, 3 line, 4 line person? Or do your reps send you out for that stuff? Or are you at the point where your reps are only sending you out for like recurring? And...
I don't think I'm at any point, dude. I don't think I have a point. I know it sounds like I do because Barbie.
You might not, but do you don't know if your reps do?
I don't know shit. I don't know if they say no sometimes, and I don't even hear about it.
You don't want to know?
I do not want to know.
Why is that?
I'll shoot up
Everyone
the whole
says
office.
that, and
I'll shoot up the office. I'm a master.
Oh, because you want to.
I need anything. I'll do anything.
Yeah.
I like going to places and working.
That's how I feel too. And I feel like a lot of people, and I keep saying when you get to your level, you are at a level. A lot of people, the reps stop sending them to smaller stuff. Like if Allison asked you to audition for that Barbie role, I bet your reps wouldn't have sent you out.
Yeah, it's possible.
Which is so interesting to me because I'm the same. I'm like, why would you not want to just do everything? Who cares if you? That's more fun to just have a day player role on like Curb. Or
I was advised not to do Barbie.
By your reps?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of this, I think. Because they were just like, it's kind of small. You don't want to set precedent. And I was like, set precedent. And I do remember saying this, and this is 100% true. I said, if that woman calls and she says that she's got a very heavy sofa on the 4th story of a building, and there are no stairs, and she can't get it down there, and she needs to find a way to do it, you tell her to call me, because I will break my hand. Like it wasn't an exaggeration. There are people, she's one of them, that like you want to be there for in different ways entirely. And it doesn't have to equate to an opportunity down the road. It's just, I like you, and thank you so much for accepting me in this room. Because of the crazy shit we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't go in there and do the lines sometimes, or I don't go in there and do this or that. And to be accepting and satisfied is huge. And I straight up said that shit. And I was like, I will move her couch on my back or in my teeth. Like, I love that woman.
I agree with you. I do. Like, I wonder why they even told you that the offer came in then, if they didn't want you to do it.
Yeah, I don't know, but that scares the shit out of me. It scares the shit out of me.
The things they're saying no to?
Yeah. I mean, it always has. It's like, why I'm being represented by other humans that are not me. Okay.
I think it's tricky. Why don't you? Sorry to Pierce. Why don't you just ask them if they're saying no to things?
Because that would require talking to them. And that's what
we know how much energy that takes.
Oh yeah, you gotta like pick up the phone, which is also a computer, so I'm already distracted by this other shit. I'm on Instagram again, so I might as well heart that.
I want to be cognizant of time because you have a very important fast food audition at 200 South.
Bro, I hope I get it. Because if I do, I'm buying a new studio.
For your dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, my dogs are going to have a competing podcast.
You made fun of the note I had, the girl dad. Your daughter seems very important to you. Was she hyped about you being in Barbie, or was it you ruined the movie for her?
Yeah, she was like, oh, yuck, Dad. And she farted real loud when I came on screen. We watched it in like Laguna or something. We were down in the beach because my parents were visiting. And it had just come out, and we popped in middle of the day because no one was there, and it was nice. Yeah, dude, she's the best. She's always really proud.
That's awesome.
And yeah, obviously, I love her to death, and like, she's 15 now. So.
I was gonna say she's gotta be a teenager now.
Yeah,
we talked 6 years ago. Kids grow up.
They grow up.
Be doing that.
They do be doing that, dude. It's so great and so challenging at the same time, but
so she's in high school.
Best. Yeah, she's a sophomore.
Wow. That's exciting.
It's bizarre. There are people that look like there are kids that look like adults in high school, and you're just like there's a guy with a fucking beard, and I was like, who's that? What does he teach? And she's like, that's a freshman, and I'm like, okay.
I've seen this on TikTok. The idea that Gen Z looks older than they actually are.
I don't know if that's just because we're old.
I don't know.
But maybe, yeah. I mean, I remember I
Wait.
couldn't grow anything.
Can I ask you a pro tip? My nephew's coming to LA. One of my nephews is coming to LA for the
Jumbo's
first time in a
clown
couple weeks.
That's the pro tip I have for you and your nephew. I'm just kidding.
What do teenagers like to do in this town?
Ooh,
What's like a good thing for a teenager to do?
methamphetamine, I
Because
think.
my nephew's the same age, 15, 16.
Yeah.
Methamphetamine.
Try to get him near the meth
Scared her out.
Yeah. Just drop him off downtown
My
and be
mom's
like,
going to hate this part of the podcast.
oh, no. No,
She's coming with him.
Yeah.
She's the chaperone.
Oh, that's going to be fun, dude. I would say Little Tokyo's badass.
Really?
Yeah.
For a teenager?
Yeah.
Why is that?
My daughter loves it. She goes there with her friends from school a lot because it's just like a culturally cool spot. And like people are generally, it's always packed, but you know, people are generally like cruising around and nice and like, oh, right on. This is cool. And architecturally, I mean, you're going to do the hikes and shit, probably.
Yeah, we'll do Griffith.
Yeah, do Griffith.
We're in Los Feliz, so we got the bus that drives us right up there, so we don't even have to.
Oh, yeah. If you can take them to the Hollywood Bowl for something, because
That'd be
that's
cool.
really cool. I went and saw Space Odyssey,
Oh.
right?
What?
Space Odyssey?
2001, A Space Odyssey?
Yeah. Yeah, good. With the LA Phil.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It was cool as shit. And that's the kind of thing where it's like you're watching the sunset, you're watching the movie, you're hearing the...
Munching on your food.
Yeah.
It's like a picnic style.
I wish I would have fucking... It was one of the first times I have done anything like that at the bowl.
Oh, really?
And I went like a dipshit. And I was just like, didn't take any... I took my parents, went, and it was like, I took nothing picnic-wise.
Oh.
I didn't know you could.
For the LA Phil shows, you can, yeah. I saw John Williams do his whole spiel last summer with them. I went solo. I was like, fuck it, I'm going alone. I brought like a little salad and stuff and a bottle of wine for me.
Dude, you got
And I
it.
was
That's
by
a date
myself.
night.
Dude, I was by myself.
That
I was
is
just like,
date night for Mike, dude.
Hashtag
Yeah.
self-care.
Definitely. That's the best self-care you could do. I was so pissed because then it was like, you're going up to all the little vendors and you're like, hi, can I get their banh mi? And they're like, sure, 38 knees. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then you're like buying a beer and it's the same shit. Everything's so pricey. But then I saw people coming with like straight up Whole Foods bags and thermoses and camper shits. And I'm like, wow, that's next time. That's what's up.
All right.
Yeah.
Last question I like to ask people is, who took a chance on you? Who do you think took a chance on you? That
Mike McGuire.
Who's that?
That's a commercial.
The St. Louis Cardinals player?
Yeah. Mark McGuire, the slugger. He made me put it in his ass because of the steroids. I put the steroids in him.
Mike did, right? Oh, Mark did.
Mark. Mike never let me near his ass, unfortunately. But
He's a commercial director?
He's a commercial director. He's a director. He did an Onion movie a while back. He's done a lot of stuff. He's an award-winning commercial director. He was at the Directors Bureau at the time, which was like they're like a big old director house. I was in New York. I was auditioning. I was showing up on fire, like we're talking about, in rooms that I don't know if they're gonna like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna hate it. I don't know if I'm gonna get banned. Like there are times where people are just like, "Thank you." You can get the fuck out of here because we don't want that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't either. Back to digging holes. But I would go into these places and there was a callback one time and he was remote. And this is like 15 years ago, legit. And he's like on Skype and I'm just like, this is weird, but this is okay. I feel cool. Again, it was like comfortable casting directors. Like they were awesome to me, always. And they realized, like, I'm never trying to make fun of anyone. I'm never trying to fucking throw it at anybody's face. I'm just doing the best that I can to be as open and funny and working as, you know. And they accepted that, and they were lovely. Telsey was the name of the casting studio.
He's a casting director, not a director.
Mike McGuire is a director. Telsey is the casting.
Right, I know Telsey.
Yeah.
So Mike just booked you in the few first commercials he did.
Yeah, but he didn't just book me. He brought me here. Like they were LA campaigns, and he gave me like 4.
Hell yeah. For what? What was it for?
Toyota.
Oh, a bunch of different.
Cablevision.
Hell yeah.
HBO comedy was my first job, and that was McGuire. and then he brought me out again. Like, he moved me here basically.
That's awesome.
Without even knowing it. And it was always that. And beyond that, dude, it was like, yes, you get the job and you're all aflutter. But it's like the guy in the fucking room, even on a computer, that's looking at you and just being like, I love it. I love it. Like, don't turn it off.
Yeah.
Don't ever turn it off. Keep it on. Actually turn it up. Okay, maybe turn it down. Okay, do this. And you're just like, oh, this is why I do performance. This is why I do live performance. Because you are a speaking, unified audience voice at this point.
Yeah.
For me. And that's, I've never had. I'm playing to 80 people and trying to make them all laugh in unison or think in unison. And it's like, you had the one thing all concentrated in one, and he's a sweet ass guy, always has been, but by far he immediately put me on any map that I'm
great.
on. So yeah,
have you told him this?
No, I haven't seen him in a long time, and I think he moved away from California, so he's dead to me. Yeah, I won't. No.
What if he's directing this fast food audition you're about to go to? He's back. He's back.
That would be it. This is a celebrity director, so I'm not.
Oh, a celebrity's directing it. Got it.
Yeah, I'm not getting that, dude.
It's John Krasinski, probably.
Yeah, it's John Krakowski.
Why do you think you want to get it then? That's probably why you're going in. What are you talking about?
Oh,
you're gonna book it, and I'm gonna get 10% for just like changing your mindset.
Hell yeah! And then we're gonna like edit this podcast out of just me talking about like good shit, and it's like, yes, Barbie, I love Barbie.
It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not. It's all the F-bombs have to get out, and we can't talk shit about fast food. You have to get out the part where I'm like, I don't do fast food, because I'm gonna be doing it.
George, this is a pleasure. It's good to see you.
Love, man. It's been too long.
But I agree. By the way, do you know that they opened a gay sports bar on Vermont?
I'll do it.
You and me, it's ridiculous.
Any day, dude.
It's the sports bar is very liberal with that term, because sure they have sports on TV, but the bar's not about sports at all.
I'm not about sports either. Like I said, I'm in for the gamble. And if we go to
we should bet on something and go to the game.
I know
go to that bar.
Exactly what we're gonna
go to that
bet
bar.
on, too.
What are we betting on?
Who gets what in the butt? And I'm gonna win that bet, because I'm gonna show up with something in my butt, and you're not
some
gonna.
What do they go? Polyps? Polyps?
Polyps?
Is that what they call?
I don't even want to know it's in my butt, to be honest. What time is it? It's almost noon.
Yeah, let's get you out of here. You got a tail slate. It was a pleasure, George.
Do I do a tail slate? Do you make casting directors do it?
Yeah, I do, and it's hilarious.
I bet, because they're just like,
oh, what do we?
Can I get a general explanation? Can we get a group explanation in this? Those things.
Send it. Tail slate it.
Yeah. George Basil, 6 foot, up your ass in Los Angeles.
That's great.
MTV and the Channel E. A thing for celebrity.
Every podcast guest that comes over gets to drop one sack